So in this long tutorial I will try to explain you how to create laser show, and it won't be a short tutorial, but I will explain all the details, all the stuff, all the things which are running through my head. I mean those which I can, and yeah, I think it will be beneficial for those of you who actually want to create some kind of laser shows and not just hit the play button all the time. So yeah, I hope you will like it. Anyway, it will be quite long, so don't be shy to skip parts you don't think are usable for you. Okay, and as you can see, I'm already setting up the lasers, because the laser show the client required needs to use 4 lasers. As you can see, I have placed 3 of them at the top, and 1 is in the middle, shooting the beams up. Yeah, so I have done the setup. As you could see, the grid is very practical when using, when setting up the lasers. Okay, now I will clear the workspace, and I will add a new show where I choose the music, the waveform in the background, and as you can hear, when I play it, it's already playing the music. I'll be honest with you, this music is not really my favorite one, but yeah, it's not as bad as the one you get, for example, on ILDA Awards when performing for the laser jockey. But yeah, it's not really great. Anyway, we are professionals, we don't have to choose all the time. We can't choose all the time. You have to live what clients requires. Okay, so I will start with creating a new effect, a new scene. And at the beginning, you could hear there are some bass, pretty simple. So I will create a simple point which is fading out. As you could see, I have added the point as a image generator and the brightness below, brightness transformation below. And now I can copy paste the beam I have already created. I will move it to the right part of the image. Yes, and as you can see, I have already a fading beam on the left side and on the right side. And this is my first scene. And this is the one I will use for the beginning of this song. Now there is a nice trick, which is I can calculate how many beats I have on this first part, which is 16. And now I can just select the repeat, and as you can see, I'm already hitting the beats precisely. Yes, there are 16 beats, and my scene is actually hitting 2 of them, so that's why I have to use only 2 beats, a repeat set to 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, and at the beginning, as you can see also in the waveform, there is a sound which is different from the beat, so I think it's nice to do something else. Yes, for example, using these 2 beams in white color. And then, as you can see, we can continue with the blue beams on the left-right side. The song continues with almost the same kind of music. Again, at the beginning we just have some kind of a different beat, and I think we could improve these 2 white beams a bit. So let's move them a little bit down. Yes. So now they move slightly down. already good, but when you can hear at the end of the sound, I think we could shake a little bit on the right side the two beams. Yes, and this shake transformation is great to do that. Yes, it's shaking. Maybe a little bit too fast and too much. Yes, that's about it. Now it fits to the music, I think. And the beats, they end up sooner, so we just set we just have to cut the event sooner a bit. And again, we can use a little trick. I could calculate the phase and choose and set the number of beats, but you can use a little trick. Just fade out, just turn it off with the brightness. Okay, it's off. Good. So that's the beginning. And as you can see, I'm using only the middle laser, the bottom one. The reason is, I think also the laser show should have a kind of a maybe story. You should not begin a laser show with using all the lasers you have at disposal. You should build up somehow, and I think it's good way to start with only small, for example, small amount of lasers, maybe one at the beginning, and then just start slowly using the rest of them. Okay, so let's continue with the music and let's create the line which is interrupted. And yes, that's the color transformation is great to do this. So as you can see, I have a line which is interrupted by the black lines, and I want the blue color, so I can use just alpha mapping for in the color transformation, which will preserve the original color. And then I can use another color transformation, which will actually change only the visible points. So the interrupted line, I will have the fade color from dark blue to cyan and back to dark blue, and yeah, as you can see. And I think this kind of effect fits another the next sequence of the music. Yes, we just add some animation. I think the zoom in would be nice here. And we can use also brightness, so we don't hit with one powerful beam. Good. It's nice. And as always, don't forget to save. Good, that's a good start. I'm using only one laser, it's slowly building up. Yes, I have to use the filter to turn off the top lasers. Yes, So just the middle one, it's still being used. Middle bottom one. So after the first sequence, another sequence already starts with the beats and also melody. And I think it would be nice to continue using the interrupted line. And just with some simple scene. So let's rotate it, for example. Yes, like this. We can just invert the direction of the rotation. I don't know why, but I think we should go right first. And we can also use the color changer to hit the beats. So we will create two keyframes, and the middle one will only contain the cyan color. Okay, so now we will add the event, the scene to the show. And I need to find where the multiplier of 8 beats ends, because that way I can precisely hit the speed of the beats. Yeah, it looks good because I'm hitting every second beat. For the slow part of the music, at the beginning it's still okay. And let's rotate the line as well. And as you can see, it's quite easy to do so in the transformation, in the timeline directly. So I'm just drag and drop the rotation below the line. Okay, I'm rotating the first direction and back. And as you can see, there are beats missing here, so we should fix this. And what we can what we can improve is also the beginning of this sequence. And let's use the color changer and let's blink to white color. You can hear the sound and it's nice to catch these important sounds you can hear in the music somehow. And thanks to the transformation you can use now in new Fiesta, directly in timeline, it's easy to, for example, as you can see, just to change the color to white and back to the original color on those 2 beats. Yes. So now we are catching the start of the sequence, and also we can copy it to the second sequence like this. Yes. Maybe here we need to move it a little bit. Yes, this should be fine. And those are the details. I mean, you have to listen to the song like 1,000 times, every one of the sequence. If it doesn't feel right, you have to change the timing and yeah, improve the song, improve the laser show in time when you hear it like over and over again. Okay, let's fix also the end of the sequence because there are no beats anymore. So I think it should be, we should reflect this. And as you can see, I have already stopped the rotation of the plane, of the line. Yes, and the same effect we have started this sequence with, we can use also at the beginning. We just invert the direction. So now it goes down and fades out. Like this. And this is always complicated part of the music. When you have only the voice singing something, and especially in dance music they sing quite often the same thing. So yeah, I don't like these sequences. Because usually they are quite hard to catch good with lasers, but you just have to use something simple, something slow, so the waves are just perfect. So let's create a line and add the waveform transformation, and as you can see there are too many waves, so let's use the period to increase the size of the wave and let it move. The phase is used to set the phase of the wave, so let's keep it as it is. So by default it behaves like a standard wave. And I think for the female voice it's better to use the red color. We can save a little space in the bank, just moving the scene on the next empty place, and let's use the wave for the girl's voice. Let's improve it with the waves, with the brightness. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe we can move it a little bit in the end. But not left, right, but to the bottom from the middle. Just slightly. But the problem I see, yeah, I have to use the face to make sure that I'm starting at the point or at the middle point of the transformation. And we can increase the speed or control the speed, because I think it looked good when the line or the wave speeds up accelerates to the bottom. Accelerates when it falls down. Yes. It starts moving slowly and then accelerates with the direction down. And we can use the same wave for the second voice of the girl, but let's change the transformation. I think it fits better if the wave knob goes up. It's at least a little bit different as the melody of the girl's voice. Again, we can use curves to increase the speed. And for these kind of sequences, when the girl sings or whatever, the slow parts of the music, I think it's always important to use some slow movements. So it looks maybe good on the monitor, but I think in the real, when you would actually perform this laser show, you would need to adjust how much the wave actually moves down or up, because this might be too much, too fast for the sequence, but you can't see it without the lasers. So just guess, and when you actually try the laser show, you can adjust these little settings. Yeah, and I think also the end of the voice, it would be nice to change the color to white. Yes, those are the little details. And the nice thing about these transformations, which you can use in a timeline, it's that you can catch precisely the changes of the music. As you can see, the little details can be improved by using the transformations in the show and adjusting already running effect, as this white change at the end. Yes. Okay, and when we are happy, it's okay to repeat when the music doesn't change that much. I think it's okay to repeat the same effect several times. And let's be honest, with the waves you won't spoil anything. So more waves at the laser show, because the most simple effect, they look the best in the air for the beam shows. Okay, and this sequence is a change from the silent part to the dance part. And those sequences, I think, are the most important. Those are the sequences when people scream, so make sure you spend a lot of time improving these, let's say, silent to dance part sequences. And I think it's already a good idea to start using the top lasers, because we haven't used them, and this is the right time when the music finally starts on a full power, I should say. So let's create a beam which is moving from left to right. And it can also flash. So as you can see, I have 5 times repeat of the fade out. And let's set the scene to be displayed on all 3 lasers, but I can use the filter directly in the timeline of the laser show. So as you can see, I will start with the left top laser. Yes, like this. And I can copy the sequence and use the second laser with the filter again. So I will start with the left top laser. It's not ending as it should. And let's use the right top laser as a continuation. And let's rotate it so it goes the opposite direction. Yes, like this. Always save. I like to save sometimes as another file, just in case the file before gets destroyed. I still can get back to at least some of my work. So I like to change after, I don't know, 30 seconds or after 50 seconds I finish of the show. I like to save it as another file, 0 to. Okay, I think we have to move the second event a little bit. It should be faster. This is something you always have to try and play it over and over again if it fits. I think now it's okay. Yes. When you hear the sound of the, we always change the laser which is actually drawing the beam. And I think it fits nicely with the music. But this is something you always have to see you have to see for yourself if it fits the music as you can hear it, as you hear the music, because every one of us is listening to the music a little bit different way, and not always the scene which fits to the music in my feelings will fit also for you. And that's nice about laser shows. Every one of the laser show you create is your expression of the music, how you feel it, how you see it, maybe using the lasers. Because sometimes I'm also surprised that how the other people can fit the music, but it's something completely else that I would do. Okay, back to business. As you can see, I'm using 2 beams instead of 1 in the middle laser. And I'm already using 2 beams at once as the beats comes up. I want to see the beams, so I move the laser origin a little bit down. Now as you can see, I can see both the beams of the middle laser. And if you notice, it's really practical to use the filters. I can quickly select which laser should be used on which event, or which event should draw on what lasers. I think it's a lot more practical than using the line assignment to laser, which is used for also by our older software, and some of our competitors still use it. We think it's a lot easier and more practical to be able to assign every event of your timeline to a certain laser or lasers. And as the beats come up, we again add more and more beams. And this is again something you have to decide for yourself, if it fits to the music. I think for this sequence it's nice to add more and more, and in the end there will be more beams. So we start slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 again, and more and more. Okay, and now we need more and more beams. So let's create the double beam effect. Yes, so I have 2 beams for every laser, moving in the opposite direction. And I can use it easily on all the lasers several times using repeat. There is a little trick we can use with the phase. I want to increase the speed of the phase, and I can do it by setting the phase even to 800. And now as you can see, the speed of the scene, the original animation of the scene from Bank, is increasing in time. Maybe change a little bit. Still it's too fast in the end. By the way, 300 means it will repeat the original animation from the bank 3 times. Maybe a little bit more. Now 500 means it will repeat the original animation 5 times. And I think it would be nice to actually do some fade out. of the beams. They will stop and disappear somehow, and we can use the brightness to do so. And we can use invert X to create fade out. Yeah, maybe the preview is not so great for the brightness because you don't see the fade at the beginning. But if you connect the lasers, you will be able to see the fade out correctly. Okay, so let's check the complete sequence. And now, as a surprise, we start to use the top lasers. Speed up. And let's go to another sequence. Okay, I think the brightness should be turned off a little bit sooner, or we should we can actually play with the brightness a little bit, because as you can hear in the sound, there's kind of a wave of the female voice. Yeah, maybe this is too fast. Still, I think it's too fast. So let's remove one of the hills. Okay, that's better. And this is the dance part of the music. To be honest, those are the easiest parts, because if you just create something rotating or moving or whatever, it will do just fine for the dance sequences of the music. There's not much to catch, but of course it looks better if you play it with it. So okay, let's play it from the beginning. Nice shake. And quite often when I play the show from the beginning, I see some bugs, and I often also come with some better idea. For example, now as you can see, I noticed that I haven't turned off the top lasers. So at the beginning, at maybe first 30 seconds, I'm still using just the bottom laser. Maybe it's even 50 seconds, seems like. What's good so far, every one of the sequence is a little bit different. It's a lot different actually, because I'm using beams, I'm using waves, I'm using some lines interrupted with the black parts. So I think it's changing all the time, but still one sequence which is related, for example, to just the voice, is using same kind of scenes. So what could we use for the dance sequence? I always like to use simple effects, but which really fit to the music. And well, let's be honest, the most simple is the line. So let's use this one. We just try to animate it so it fits the music perfectly. And as you can see, when you use like 3 or 4 lasers, even the simple line which is going from the top to the middle looks good. So let's use this one, but let's just use it for the middle laser. And let's use it for the first beat. There is a big bass, so I think it fits. And we can use a little trick with the face. So where my first event ends up, we can continue with the second. So at 99% of the face. Now as you can see, I'm using the same event as the second one, but it's moved in time to the end, which is like 99% of the original animation from the bank. And let's use the color changer to let the line disappear in a nice way, like from the middle to the sides. And well, this is something we will improve in the future, but for now you have to do it like by creating several keyframes in the color changer. I think you will understand when I will do it. So I will slightly just move the points of the next keyframe. And as you can see, it looks like it disappears from the middle. And it all happens faster, so let's move all the events. And I don't need the ending, I don't need it to reappear, I just need it to disappear. And we can add several more keyframes to, it will look better, the animation. It will really look like the line is disappearing from the middle to the sides. Good. This could be nice. Yes. Looks better than just 3 keyframes. And I think it fits the first beat. Comes from up to the middle and disappears to the side. And since we have 2 side lasers, we will let it appear on the second lasers, or on the side lasers. So it will look like the middle laser is providing energy to the lasers on the sides. Yeah, already looks quite okay. I could leave it like this, but it's always better in a dance part of the music if something is always happening. I mean, I don't like the standing beams. I think it's better to at least catch the beats with the fade in, with the brightness. So let's use brightness. And let's repeat it several times. Yeah, that's too fast. Exactly. There are 3 beats, so I can hit them. Good. As you can see, I was a little bit late. Yes, now it fits precisely. But I have a feeling the second beat is a little bit longer or shorter. Yeah, and it's always nice to slightly modify every one of the beats. Because the first, when this sequence started, there was the beat was a little bit deeper or more important to the music. That's why we have this movement at the beginning from the top to bottom to the middle. Yeah, looks good. I'm hitting every beat. That's always a good sign. And again, we have something a little bit different. So we can use for a change the rotation and size. Maybe that's too fast, but I think the rotation is really nice here. So let's use just half of the rotation. Let's test it. And on the second beat or second group of beats, we can use the rotation, but to the opposite direction. Yeah, so from 180 to 0 for a change. So first we rotate to left and then to right. Okay, let's check it from the beginning, almost the beginning. Here we have a new voice, a new sound. So I think it would be nice to catch, but let's just copy the previous animation for the top 3 lasers. And we can figure out something to catch this high beat. We can use the line again we have used before. And of course we will use, I think the oscillator is a good choice, because it will shake the line. While we can also increase the size, the width. And when the bass, the beat is at the top of the volume, we can change the color to white and fade out. It was too fast. We can nicely hear the disappearing sound of the beat. As you can see, it's quite long. And we can set the fade out as long as the whole effect. Yes. Good. It will look good when this line appears at the bottom laser, or the output of the bottom laser over the audience. Okay, the remaining sequence is almost the same, but there are some different samples used. So I think we will do something a little bit different. And we will use groups. Group is great when you want to combine several effects or drawing primitives like line. And let's create the line which is shaking a bit. As you can see, it's moving up and down a little bit. We call it oscillator. Let's increase the amplitude of the oscillator. Nice. And as you can see, the one event in the timeline is actually a group of the line which is moved up. Yeah, I just noticed my top right laser is inverted in X, so I just have to fix it. And you can use apply settings to preview to actually see the settings set to your hardware device. I don't think it's I'm not using it that often, but it was requested by clients, so yeah, it's possible to see the output settings of your drawing output settings of your hardware device also on the laser preview. So now, as you can see, all the lasers are doing the same thing, but what we can do is to use the time shifter, and that one allows you to move every one of the lasers slightly in time. So you can define, let's say, every next laser will be delayed 8% later in time. So as you can see, the rotation of the lines is every next line is slightly moved in time, is forward. And that's quite a good way to create nice effect, which is slightly different for every one of the lasers you use. And as I said, the dance sequences are usually easier. So even if you create just this simple line for every one of those lasers, it will look just fine. Yeah, and we can zoom in at the beginning. That's again nice little transition from the previous kind of effect, previous scenes. What we can do, we can change the direction of rotation easy by inverting X of the face. And now, as you can see, the lines are rotating in opposite direction, again using the time shifter. Yeah, the deep beat is still there, so we can just copy paste the line, the increasing line we have used before for the bottom laser. Good, looks fine. And we can copy the rotating lines again for the next sequence. Yeah, I have a feeling it's a bit soon. Sometimes you just have to play it several times to understand the sequence, how the beats should be followed, because I think we are we are too late for one beat. Yes, now it's okay. There is a little help with the beats and the number of beats especially, and actually I have learned this when working with dancers, because the dancers, they always calculate sequences in they call it eighths, And every time you change the animation on 8 beat, that's usually good enough, or the multiplier of 8. So on, I don't know, 8, 16, 32, yeah, that's a good amount of beats you should follow. And when you change the animation or the sequence on a multiplier of 8, that's usually fine. Oh, you can learn a lot actually working with dancers, because they really feel the music, they understand the music, how and when the sequence should change. Good. So we finish in fade out. And save. We can now also improve the rotation line. And I think again we can catch the beats of the music by using the brightness. So again we can calculate how many beats are there, and according to that we will set the repeat of the brightness transformation. So let's fade in and out and set the repeat. Okay, this looks good, but we can use also the time shifter. And the nice thing about it, you can use it in the timeline as well. So the line in every one of those 3 lasers at the top will be slightly delayed or shifted in time. As you can see, they don't fade in and out at once now. Okay, we can slow it down a bit. And when we are happy, we can just copy paste the events to the next one. By the way, if you notice, I'm quite often using the arrows on the side of the event in show, because when you catch it, you can then move the mouse over the event, which is, for example, over the event you want to set, and they will align once you go with the mouse over the desired duration. It's a neat little tool which will really save you a lot of time to set the duration and the start of the events in show to be precisely aligned to each other. This is the sequence I'm always afraid of, the singing part. Yeah, this will be complicated. But again, those parts of the music where you don't have beats, the silent parts, they are important. Like when you catch them well with lasers, they can really cause freezing in the back of the audience. But still, it's the most complicated part, and you will see that I will probably lose a lot of time here. because you can hide behind the beats. It's not enough to create something which is rotating. No, you need to catch the voice precisely. First of all, let's fix the previous part a bit. I think it should be a little bit longer. A nice fade out according to the music. Now, people are quite often afraid to leave some part of the music empty, I mean with a complete black. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should cover every beat of the music with the effect. It's something being drawn on the laser. I think it's good to leave few seconds without in the dark, because it builds up the attention. And then I will just start creating something which will hopefully fit to the voice of the girl. And I can use editor to draw half of the circle. It's quite easy to do so in the editor because we are using Bezier curves. So the curved segment really saves you a lot of time when drawing, not point by point. And we can increase the number of points in the line. You can see the intensity is higher now. Yeah, and I can also change the colors of the endings to fade out, like this. Okay, so this is my arc, or half, 1/4 of the circle. And now I will use this to fit the laser show to the voice of the girl. And yeah, what we could use. First of all, we can again make it intermittent. So I will split the circle into several segments. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, and we can try rotating the segments. It's fast, but we can slow it down in the timeline. Okay, and I will use this half of the circle as a base shape, which will try to fit to the voice of the girl, the woman probably. As you can see, I can control the face to, for example, stop the scrolling of the colors. Yeah, and I can use open-close transformation. Here you can see the power of of the curves, which you can use directly in the timeline, because I can easily adjust the time of each keyframe of the curve where it should be, and I can precisely control what's happening when. Yeah, let's show a little bit less. And we are finishing at 0, which means display the complete picture.
It was bound to fall, kept on open. I thought I had it all. It was bound to fall, kept on open. That my dream. I thought I had it all. It was bound to fall, kept on open. That my dreams would save me. Kept on open. That my dream.
And let's use also the filter to use only the bottom laser. Yeah, I think the ending doesn't look that good. We'll fix this. Again, as you can see, I'm using the arrows to align the timeline, the event to the top event. Again, I think for the female voice, I think the red color just fits. This is, again, it's up to you, but I don't know, I have a feeling the red one is a female color. Yeah, this is still not good. I think it would look good if we go from another side, and we'll use a little trick. I will copy and paste the circle, the quarter circle, and I will start from another side, which is basically a second object, but it doesn't matter if you won't be able to see it on the laser show output. So let's display right part of the arc from the right side. On the second sentence. Kept on open, it was bound to fall. Kept on open, it was bound to fall. It was bound to fall. Kept on open, that my dream. It was bound to fall. Kept on open. As you can see, it's very practical to have the the curves in the timeline, because I can adjust precisely the beginning and end of the transformation. So I can catch exactly the open close between the two segments of the arc, of the circle. And I can now easily copy and paste the open close transformation, and I can leave it at the value from the previous one. Okay, so it's 40, 39. Okay, from left side, from right side. The problem also with the voice is that you don't see it in the waveform quite often. That's why you have to try and change and try again, usually for these sequences. That's why it's a lot harder, and it takes a lot more time to improve these sequences of the music where you have only the voice. Okay, we have to display the middle part somehow. Again, I can use the keyframe points to set the position where the open close starts precisely. And I think it will be nice if we display it from the left and right at once. It's a bit tricky to catch the points, but yeah, hopefully we'll manage. Yeah, and we will try to move the middle segment from the top, for example, instead of open closing. Yeah, this will look good. We will just have to set it precisely in the middle. Luckily we can see it in the preview. Yes, so I can fit it exactly where I want it. This is something we will have to fix. I mean, you will be able to set the position of both of those points in the future by typing up the numbers. But in this version of Fiesta it's not yet available. Okay, nice. Okay, and let's use fade in, so it doesn't appear immediately. Yeah, like this.
those fancy cars, the high-end bars, it got me. The high-end bars, it got me. But all those fancy cars kept me.
And we can again use a little trick to make my life simpler. I will just use once the sequence is finished, I will just remove all the separate free segments, and it will be in one in the end. I'll use only one after the voice, after it should be. So instead of three segments, or three separate events, I will have to take care only about single one, which is already, yeah. So once the last segment ends, I will have only one after. Just need to find the right amount of repeats to fit the voice. And I will continue using this arc, so I don't change too much, so I don't change the, but as you can see, it's quite complicated to catch these sequences with just the voice. Yeah, I have now spent maybe 20 minutes just to improve, just to create something for, I don't know, 3 seconds. So really takes a lot of time. And I think we are with a little bit, it takes too long. So let's make the previous segments shorter. I have to do it one by one because they don't start at the same time, and there's no way for Fiesta to know how I want to resize them. Now we should catch with the white change precisely. Okay, sounds about right. And again, as you can see, that's the problem. I don't see the voice in the waveform in the background. That's why it's so hard to catch. But still, I think it's important to spend some time perfecting the timings of the events. Still a bit off. We can try to use higher repeat. Okay, that looks better.
It was bound to fall. Kept on hoping that my dreams would take me. But all those fancy cars.
Imagine a few years back you hear the waveform. You could not see the waveform, and you couldn't even play quickly what's on the desired point in time of the music. So you had to play it over and over like 1,000 times. It's easier now. That's what I want to say. Still takes a lot of time. Okay, and we don't have to move all the time, we can just change color. That's also good for the silent part of the music. And we can just blink from the red one to the white one and back. And the nice thing about the color transformation, you can use alpha as well. So you can create a transition between the original color or the color which you are actually setting up in the color palette. As you can see, I'm using it to display, to change just a little part of the circle to white. And let's use it, the same trick on the right side of the circle or quarter circle. It's sooner. And for example, we can use also the animation. We can also repeat it using face, for example, 2 times. And using the alpha, you can precisely control when the animation is applied, the color change, I mean. Again, using the face, you can use it also for a higher numbers than 100. So for example, when using 200, you will use the animation twice. So like this we can increase the speed at the end of the event. And to make it smooth, we can use curves. So it will accelerate. Don't forget to save, of course, although Fiesta is pretty stable. Never happened to me that it would crash. since I started to create the show.
It was bound to fall. Kept on hoping that my dreams would save me. But all those fancy cars went to the high-end bars. It got me hoping you would get down on your knees. It's not about money and cars. Or
Yeah, I think it fits. It fits the voice of the girl.
and cars. Or hanging out at your knees. It's not about money and that's not what you want. The high-end bars, cars, or hanging out. It's not about money and cars. It's not about money. It's not about money and cars.
And we don't need to be original all the time. We can use the same tricks, same effects for the next sequence, because it's still female voice. It's just changing a little bit, so we will catch the times precisely so it fits to the music.
My dreams would save me. But all those fancy cars went to the high-end bars. It got me hoping you would get down on your knees. It's not about money and cars, or hanging out at the bars. Well, I'm smoking cigars. That's not what you want. Smoking cigars. That's not smoking cigars. That's not what you want.
Yeah, and I can display the both sides in white for the third sentence.
Money and cars, or hanging out at the bars. Well, I'm smoking cigars. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. That's not what you want.
And if you notice what's great about Fiesta, you can use copy paste everywhere. So I can copy paste the events, I can copy paste the points in the color changer. So the colors can be copied quite well, quite fast. Okay, and then we can use open close for the last sequence, for the last sentence. And we can use it as kind of a scrolling, maybe.
Well, I'm smoking cigars. That's not what you want me. Had to learn.
Okay, looks good. It's fine.
Had to learn the hard way.
And we can finally turn off
Had to learn the hard
this circle.
way.
As you can see, the invert X for the transformation is very practical. So fade in, fade out,
Or hanging out.
you can switch between them using this
Well, I'm smoking cigars.
tool.
That's not what you want me. Had to learn the hard way. Had to learn the hard way. Hard way.
Okay, but we still have the female voice, so let's use the same arc or same circle.
Learn the hard way.
Just fade in because we start a new sentence.
Had to learn the hard way. Had to learn the hard way. Had to learn the hard way. Had to get the way. How to get you to stay. How to get you to stay. How to get you to stay. Let me know when you without me running away. Had to learn the hard way.
Okay, let's check it from the beginning, if it's not boring anymore.
It was bound to fall.
But I think we are using
My dreams would
the same scene,
all those fancy
but we are animating it completely different all the time.
open you would get.
So I think it's still original,
It's not about
and it reflects the slow part of the music. We are using the same scene, same effect, just we are animating it according the female voice,
without me running away.
and I think that's good. It's not in the silent sequences. I don't think it's good to change too much, just a little bit. As you can imagine, when you finish when you finish creating the laser show for this this kind of complicated music, you usually end up hating the music because you hear it so many times. Oh, this is nice. Again, we can use it as a fade out. And this is what I like about the transformation being used in Fiesta in timeline directly, because we can really catch every important beat of the music. Okay, and we will have the build-up sequence, which is always the most important part of the music. That's where the people scream when you hit the music right with the lasers. And that's easy after. Okay. Let's display it a bit sooner. Okay, we have few last sentences where she thinks you want her. Yeah. We can already, it's before the building up sequence, so we can start to move a little bit so the attention builds up. And let's use fade in and out, and also with a slight move. But every second sentence is a little bit different. Okay. This could be nice. Yeah, we can use the first two lines instead of starting from the middle. And as you can see, I'm already spending about 30 minutes on this sequence, which takes, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds in the music. but I think it's important. The silent parts of the music are always nice. It's when you get freezing in your back. If done right, of course. Okay, we are starting to move a little bit. Copy paste your best friend. Okay, slowly building up, adding a little bit more, the same sentence, and now all to white. I think it builds up nicely. And this is the most important part. When you change from the silent part to the dense part with the beats. And here it's really important to catch the beats precisely. So let's try it out. We have two beats at the beginning. So let's change from white color to red one and back to white and back to red again. I think it fits nicely. Okay, sounds good. Or looks good. This is a little bit problem that when you create the palette and you change the duration, you have to change it all the time. But yeah, it's not that complicated. Okay, again, copy paste. Thank you for that. As you can see, I'm not afraid to use copy paste. I think if the music is the same in some sequence, I think you should use the same effect. Quite often people, they tell me that I'm using not so many effects or not so many kind of scenes. But I think if the music is the same in some sequence, you should use the same effect or same graphics. Many people, I'm not saying it's bad, it just doesn't feel right for me. They want to use all kinds of different graphics in their laser shows, and I think it's a little bit messy after. Okay, the next sequence is the same, so we can just copy paste all four. This is where we go a little bit deeper, so we need to use something else here. And then there's a dense part. Okay, so for this transition to dense part, I think it's nice to use our favorite points again. We have used it before as a transition, so we can use the same idea. But let's change them a little bit. I mean, the animation of the points, and let's slightly move them in time. Okay, use. And we can use also the time step transformation. I think it's good. So the beams, they don't move smoothly, but they are like interrupted on all time. And I can actually use the calculator how many times I should set them, but you can try it out. I mean, yeah, I can sometimes do the calculation and set it precisely, but because I need 8 beats, so the duration is 12 and a half, but I think it's easier to hit it just by trying out. And we can slightly move the points in time. Yes. And let's use the brightness to not display them full power from the beginning. Yeah, save all the time. You don't really like to remake the sequence once again. It's a kind of an old habit from the previous version or previous softwares we have used for the laser shows. They were not always stable, and yeah, it's better to save. Okay, let's use the group again, and we'll use it for the line, because we want to move it a little bit away from the center. So the center of rotation will be in the middle. As you can see, I have moved the line at the top. Okay, and now the shape when I rotate it across the middle point. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't notice I have filters enabled, so there is no laser activated. Yeah, now I noticed. So yeah, I can use whatever lasers I want for the event. And let's rotate the second one. I want 3 of them, so it's 120 degrees. Okay, and let's create the third one, which is 240, should be, yes, that's good. So I have this kind of a radioactive logo. $240, yes. And I will use this shape as a base sequence as a basic shape for the next base sequence. So I will already try to use it for the building up sequence in the middle laser at the bottom. So let's use it only for the middle laser, for the bottom one. And let's animate it somehow, so it fits the music. Again, we are building up from the silent sequence, so let's change the color to red at the beginning and let's fade in somehow. And we can blink to the beats. As you can see, I can use the brightness transformation to turn off the scene for a moment. Again, a little trick, but it's easier to catch the beats. Yes, looks good. Luckily we have undo using Ctrl Z if we don't do something right. And as you can see, I'm using lower brightness because the sound goes a little bit deeper, sounds like. So I will emulate it with brightness. Of course, the problem is if your laser is not good enough, I mean the fades of the laser are not that great, the drivers are cheap, and yeah, then you won't be able to see the graphics as it's supposed to be. Okay, it looks good. We are catching the beats almost precisely. And this is just hard work, just to catch the beats precisely where they are. Takes time. Yes, you will again probably hate the music once you finish, but yeah, that's life. Quite often when I travel by a car, I'm thinking about what to do for the given sequence, and quite often you came with a better idea when playing in your head the song again and again. So yeah, it will affect your standard life. Okay, almost right. Still, we need to fix this one. Okay, that looks good, and I think it's a nice transition because the points in top lasers, they will disappear, and this radioactive symbol will remain at the bottom. So that's a nice transition from one kind of sequence to another, and we can use the white color for the ending of the sequence. Yes. Just there are a few less beats if you can hear them. Okay, that looks fine. I think it's a nice transition from one sequence to another. I still think we can improve this part a little bit by adding a high number of points in top lasers. Yeah, we can copy paste the scene in bank, and let's rotate them, let's flip them around y-axis, which means setting up the angle to 180. It's a mirror transformation basically, and we can use the same effects. Again, use the arrows to set the timing precisely, and I have changed the scene D to F. So now we have more points in the top lasers. And let's continue with the dance part. And I have started to use the radioactive sign, and I think we will use this one as well for dance sequence. Just animate it somehow. And I think for the dance sequences, the rotational scenes are great. Thanks to the timeline, the scenes they don't have to be like periodic. I can mix, for example, the rotation and maybe something else, like changing the color. We can use invert X to do fade out. And actually what I forgot to use is the library, because in the library you can create important, you can save important events. So for example, this is fade out, so I will store it for the later use. Now I can just drag and drop it from the library. So it's faster than using invert all the time to create the brightness transformation, then use invert X. Yeah. And this looks good actually. I think it fits the music. And every second beat we can rotate. Yeah, that's nice. We just changed the direction of the rotation, I think. Easy to do so. Maybe the rotation is too fast, so let's rotate only about 90 degrees instead of 180. Maybe that's too slow already. So let's use 135 degrees. Okay, it looks better. I think it fits the speed of the music. Again, this is something you have to feel. I don't have the exact way to tell you that this is the correct speed. It just must feel right to the speed of the music, and I think it does right now. Sometimes there is no other way just to play the music, I don't know, 1,000 times or at least 100 and see it fits. Yeah, I think now it fits nicely. I think it's also nice that there is a darkness between two of the bass sequence. It will be like a strobo in the room when you play the show. let's tidy up so we don't use the lines we don't need. But if you notice this new way of thinking, when you assign a different laser to the event, you decide for every event which laser is using this event. I think it's a lot faster than assigning the line to a certain laser. Because if you see, I'm using only 4 lines and I'm using 2 lasers. I'm covering 2 lasers with the different animations. And even if I would use at the top, I don't know, 20 lasers, and I would use every odd laser only, I will use again only 4 lines of the show. So I think it's this new way of thinking. When you assign a laser output for every event, it's a lot faster to create especially shows for more lasers. Okay, the 4th beat is a little bit different, so we will improve it. Yeah, because we need double beat there. Again, those are the little details which improve the show. You just have to listen to the music well. Yeah, I think it's nice that there is double beat with the white color. Yeah, our favorite sound function save it. And this sequence is, I think, good enough. So let's use it for the rest of the dance part. And sometimes when you don't know what to do next, it's actually good to leave the computer, let the music play in your head, and yes, your internal oraculum will tell you what kind of scene fits to the next sequence. Sometimes it's better to step out of the computer and yeah, just let the music play for you several times in your head, and you will come with some idea. Sometimes it helps when you play the music from the beginning, you see the sequence. Like I was probably struggling now what to do next. And let's incorporate also the middle laser, because we have some sound samples in the background which you can catch with the middle laser. As you can see, I'm using the fade out from the library. It's a lot faster than I will save probably, I don't know, maybe 10 clicks. And I really love this oscillator or shake. I think it's great in the air. Okay, should be a little bit faster, I think. A lot faster. And even more. Okay, that's good. Again, we can copy paste the bass sequence for the top lasers. We'll use the middle laser to add some more scenes to catch the different samples so you can hear in the music. And we can already use also the middle laser at the top. What you can notice, it's how fast the Fiesta is. As you can see, we are using quite a lot of events already in the show, but still the work is fluent without any glitches. I think that's great about and this is actually something which is a little bit different from the Windows. I think on the Mac really the software runs more smoothly. It starts sooner. It's a little bit hard to describe with words which part of which sample I am actually catching with the music, but I think once I set the time correct, you can feel that it's right. That yes, this is catching the sample in the background you can hear. Yes, it's right. There is one more sample in the background which is important in the music, and let's use the editor to draw some wave. Again, the editor, you can use also the hotkeys to change the type of the point to curved, and using X and C button you can quickly change the type from linear to curved. Okay, so let's draw this shape of a bird. And let's use the color changer. And I think the nice combination of the white and red color. And we can destroy the bird with a wave a little bit. Just increase the period. Okay, this is kind of a strange looking shape, but I think it fits the sample in the background of the music. Let's move it up a bit, so it's waving in the air or floating. Okay, and let's use also the brightness. As you can see, I can create a complete event in the bank as well using the timeline. So this scene is basically a finished scene which I will use in the show. And I will use it for the sample of the kind of a girl, I don't know. And I will use it only on the bottom middle laser. Okay, it's not right. Yeah, here it starts. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, looks good. I think also the shape is strange enough for the sequence, for the sample you can hear in the background. And let's invert it. Yeah, there is no mirror transformation, but you can use the rotation. So I'm rotating the picture around y-axis. And again, for the later use, I can already create this invert X transformation, which I can use later from the library. Okay, and as you can see, I have set the filter to display the strange looking shape on the middle top laser. So those two in the middle are changing. Okay, looks fine. I think I'm catching all the important sounds you can hear in the background. And if you listen well to the music, I think well in my opinion, then you can hear that the bass are a little bit fading out in the next sequence of the music. So I think it would be nice to reflect this, that the effects or the scenes we use in show should not be so fast anymore. So we will use just some fading out, fading in scene now. So let's use the same scene, the radioactive sign. And let's create something slower, something which will actually fade out according to the music. So I will use the radioactive sign in the red color. I will add a time offset for and I will use only 2 left and right laser at the top. And I will use the fade out or fade in. And let's set the delay of the time offset, so the left and right laser they switch between each other. Yes, like this. And we can fade it out slowly. Maybe start at the middle, in the middle. The little issue with the time offset when you use it for more lasers, that when you use the transformations behind the time offset, all of them are affected. So you can't fade out just like I tried to do. That's why I have deleted it. And yeah, let's use something else. You see, the time offset is causing a trouble now. And it took me some time to figure out that it's a problem. Anyway, there is an easy solution, just to move the transformation before the time offset. You see, the time offset is causing some unpredictable results unless you really think about it. So I would expect it will zoom out, but no, it won't, because of the time problem. And as I said, the solution is simple. Just to use the transformation before the time offset. So let's use the fade out before the time offset. Yes, and now it works as it should. But those are the things you figure out usually when you work like a few hours with the software. It's not really complicated, but yes, it takes some time to figure out some stuff. And we can use the size transformation to lower the size of the scene. Okay, it's slowly fading out and zooming out. Yeah, here we should finish, so let's just do so using the brightness. And again, I can catch the samples in the background with what I did before. Yeah, sounds right. And we can sketch the rest of the remaining sounds in the background, as we did before. first one. That's okay. And I think also the second one is fine. Maybe slightly move the beginning. And we can add also the side lasers. And we can finish what we have started with. So the line, the blue line, and slow fade out at the end. In the end. Of course, never forget to save. And let's see the whole show.
I thought I had it all, it was bound to fall. Kept on hoping that my dreams would save me. But all those fancy cars went to the high-end bars. It got me hoping you would get down on your knees. It's not about money and cars, or hanging out at the bars while I'm smoking cigars. That's not what you wanted. Had to learn the hard way how to get you to stay without me running away. Guess I'd say I'm sorry. Now I think you want me. Yeah, I think you want me. Now I think you want me. Yeah, I think you want me.
As you can see, it's pretty time consuming to create a laser show. But yeah, when you want to create something nice, it always takes time. So be patient and yeah, improve. Till next time.